All right, welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And tonight we are previewing Week 8, going over some last-minute fantasy football advice. And I think since there's just two of us, it's probably a good time to get back to those rankings that we did just a couple weeks ago, Trey, the power rankings. So let's jump right into it, my man. How you doing tonight, though?
I can't hear or see you right now.
You can't hear or see me. That's a good start. That's a very good start. Here, let's do this. I'm going to remove you, and then you can come back in. Here, let me kick him from the studio. That'll force him to come back in, and then we'll get started. Well, hopefully everybody else is doing very good tonight. I see Mariah tapping in, saying, "What's up, fam?" Sky, you know I had to do it. Got the Oregon Ducks going. The Ducks, listen, nobody in college football right now outside of one team looks super dominant. The Ducks are right there. You know, you never know what can happen. That loss early on to Stanford was a terrible, terrible loss, but I'd rather lose early. You figure it out late. Sometimes, you know, you can make things happen. And Bay, I know that you had a question for Jeff. Jeff's not here. I'm curious to know what your question might be for Jeff. So go ahead and shoot that through. See if it's something that I can answer for you. Can you hear me now, Trey?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All
Can you
right.
hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Okay. All right, Trey. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. You know, me and you back again, man, to hold it down for the LSS squad. But I'm good, man. Got my bro here with me, man. Got you here. So we're going to shut it down. We're going to hold it down, man, for week 8. You know how we do. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Let's jump right into it. All right. So the Carolina Panthers are going to the Atlanta Falcons. This is crazy to me. 75% are picking the Falcons to win this game. 2 weeks ago, when if I would have told you that these guys were playing 2 weeks ago, this would have been flip-flop. 75% of America definitely would have been on the Panthers. It's a much different world in 2 short weeks. Who are you picking in this game?
I'm going to ride with the 75%. You know, I've been a team that's kind of, I haven't been on the Carolina Panther bandwagon all season, man. You know, no hate against the team. You know, I feel like they got some young studs and going to be continue to develop over the years. But I haven't really believed much in them this year. I haven't believed much in the Falcons either. But Falcons at home, man, I'm gonna ride with the 75%. You know, I actually think the Falcons can pull away and win this game. Not pull away, but can win this game. I feel like they got the offensive pieces that where they can win this game. Run with the Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely. And look I mean, the Carolina Panthers have definitely struggled. You lose CMC, all of a sudden Darnold's a whole different quarterback, right? So that's, it's just one of those things that's rough. Okay, hold on a second. This is what's funny to me, all right, Trey? So we do the fantasy football league for the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got Bay Area Baller who came into the show just to ask Jeff a question. Come to find out, it's a fantasy football question. I get it's Denver related, but either way, it's a fantasy football question, right? Specifically for Jeff. You guys realize that I'm the one that's undefeated in that fantasy football league, right? I'm still 7-0. I just want to shoot that out there. I want to be clear about that.
He is the one holding it down right now, defeated. You might want to shoot the question to him right now. He is the man holding it down right now.
So, yeah. No, if it comes to pick him, you might want to wait for Jeff because I'm not doing so hot over there. But all right, Bay Area Baller says I'm in a 2-quarterback league and I've been rolling with Teddy B. Is his job secure or should I stash Lock? I don't want to lose a QB. I would stash Lock. I don't think Teddy B's job is secure at all. That's. If you can stash Lock, I know it's tough to hold 3 quarterbacks on a roster or probably a 4th quarterback. If it's a 2-quarterback league, chances are you've already got a 3rd quarterback. If you don't have a 3rd quarterback, you definitely want a backup to one of these guys. I'm in a 2-quarterback league myself, and those are tough. It's a whole different ball game over there. So I would definitely, if you can, stash Lock because if Denver loses another one, I feel like they're a lot like us, Bay, to where Jimmy G's on a short lease, and I got to imagine Teddy B's the same way. So I would definitely stash Lock. Do you agree with that, Trey?
I agree, man. Rather be safe than sorry. Stashing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got Carr, Teddy B, and Zach Wilson, he says. So yeah, I mean, if you can carry a fourth, I would recommend doing it. The nice thing is if Teddy falls out, yeah, and Zach Wilson's hurt too. Yeah, you got to. Hopefully, you got an IR spot or something. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. You put too much stock into Zach Wilson, my guy. In the offseason, you were all over him, but it's not feeling too good right now. That's not feeling too good. I'm personally going with the Panthers in this game. I'm not jumping off the bandwagon yet. I maybe I'm riding the ship a little too long. We'll find out after this week. But I think they can get it done. I'm not confident about it, but I'm going to lean that way. I'm going to lean that way.
It's a pick
So
'em game, and somebody gonna
yeah,
make them.
yeah, for sure. I had a question. Somebody had hit me with a question. A personal friend of mine. He asked about Gibson. So choice of running back. He has Gibbs. It's a PPR. So Gibson or Hubbard. Who are you rolling with?
Ooh, I mean, I've been expecting Hubbard to do more with the opportunities he's had since McCaffrey's been out. He hasn't been having blow up games. Man,
Yeah.
that's kind of because Gibson really ain't been. Man, who? Let me see. Washington. Man, I might go with Hubbard. PPR might slide
Mm.
with Hubbard. It's hard. That's hard because I like Gibson and him. In the yards he gets on the ground, but McKissick sucks up a lot of the pass catches over there. So, I mean, and Gibson, I expect him to be a little better this year than he's been too. I expect him to run for a lot more yards. But Washington struggled. The whole team has struggled. But not the sugarcoat or not to go on too long. Man, I'm probably gonna ride with Hubbard. Take my chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Bay says that they're deep benches, so he can stash the quarterback. Definitely do that. And his quarterbacks are weak, but the rest of his team's loaded. Yeah, I gotta imagine, right? Like you did what we like to do, or some of us like to do, is when everybody was zigging, you zagged. So everybody probably went quarterback heavy, and you're like, well, listen, I'm gonna go running back, receiver, and I'll figure out quarterback later. Not mad at it. It's just tough to do in a two quarterback league if you don't have that one guy. But you do have Carr. Carr's been having a nice little season, so. Okay, so let's move on to the Bills versus the Dolphins. 99% of America is picking the Bills. And I feel like that 1% is probably like an ESPN bot just to make things even out. I cannot imagine anybody's picking the Dolphins over the Bills. But hey, you reserve the right to prove me wrong, Trey. If you want to pick against the Bills, by all means.
I'm trying to catch up to Jeff and Pickles, man. I'm not trying to sabotage myself, man. I'm going with the 99. I'm going Buffalo at home too. Dolphins been struggling. Ain't much to say, man. I mean, like you said, 99%. Come on now. Hey, Buffalo Bills, easy
Yeah.
money.
All right. All right. Uh, NJ49 Izzy says, thank God Jesse is live. I needed this distraction right now. Well, listen, thoughts and prayers are with you. Hopefully everything is good in your life, or maybe you're just bored. I guess it could be that. My mind automatically goes to the worst. But if something else is going on, definitely thinking about you. We appreciate the support as always. Interesting though, you're watching over on Twitch. We've never really pumped the whole Twitch thing other than having it at the banner down here. But we do get a few listeners from Twitch from time to time. I agree. Listen, this is a no-brainer. Like Bills are winning this game, no question about it. Yeah, but I mean, listen, if you want to catch Jeff, you kind of gotta go away from what Jeff is picking. You can't. He's picking the Bills. Are you sure you don't want to go with the Dolphins?
Nah, not this. I'll catch him in another game.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. All right, my terrible 49ers versus the Chicago Bears. This is going to be an interesting game because a lot of big hitters on defense for both of these teams are out. Khalil Mack's going to be out, but you've got Ford out. You've got Kinlaw, who had season-ending knee surgery. You got Aziz Al-Shair, who is already filling in for Greenlaw. He's out. Jaquiski Tart is out. There's a lot of injuries on both of these teams. And both, I really thought this would be a bit of a defensive struggle, but maybe, just maybe, there's enough firepower on these offenses and just enough injuries to where these teams can actually make something shake on offense. We'll see. Of course, I'm riding with my Niners in this one. I think it'll be a close game. I think my final pick was 20-17. So I am riding with the Niners in this one, but I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. The Niners have not looked very good. They're 2-4. The Bears are 3-4, but 66% is going with the Niners. Are you doing the same?
Going with your Niners, man. I'm gonna roll with y'all this week. I actually think you guys should pick up the win. Like I said, Chicago first impression is a lot to me, and Justin Fields' first impression, man, that first game. I actually watched that game, and they looked horrible. And I know since then he's actually picked it up a little bit. But every time I see Chicago, I think of Justin Fields in that first game they had against the Browns, where he didn't do nothing at all. And I just feel like in most games I'm gonna pick against the Browns. I just really am. They're struggling right now. And even though your team is struggling too, I do still feel like with Debo. Jimmy can have an okay game. The running backs, Mitchell, whoever they have back there has been productive. I feel like you guys can come out and should be able to get this win. So I'm going to roll with the 49ers. I'm going to go and ride with y'all this week.
Yeah, listen, if the 49ers don't win this, the 49ers, it's crazy.
Oh,
2-4. Yeah, it's over, right? Because right now the 49ers are 2-4, but they're only one game out of the wild card. Let's not forget the 7 teams make it. We'll see what happens with the 49ers, but if you lose this one, not only is it over for this season, but it's really time to start seriously looking at guys like Shanahan and possibly moving on. So I've obviously been much more boisterous about it. I think it's already time, but maybe other 49er fans will jump on ship with me. Let me ask you this as a Cowboy fan. What is your impressions of Kyle Shanahan? Like, do you think he's an offensive genius? A lot of people like to throw that around. Do you think he's overrated? Like, what are your thoughts of Shanahan?
well, before the season, I'd have told you that he was more leaning toward the genius, and that's really because of listening to you guys, and and I ain't gonna say necessarily you, but the respect that a lot of 49er fans give him the NFL gives him anyway. I mean, gives him too. You know what I mean? Because Shanahan is known because his pops, in that lineage for having a good offense and a good scheme, and a productive offensive scheme, and always has. So I like Shanahan, but at the end of the day, hey, if it ain't working, it ain't working. You know what I mean? Like I said, we held on to Jason Garrett for 100 years until we eventually let him go. I mean, you gotta let him go. But I mean, one man's trash, next man's treasure. Maybe this is just not it. Maybe it is what it is. He goes somewhere else. He can still be a productive coach and turn his career around. But before the season started, I'd have told you that Shanahan was a coach I'd love to have. You know what I mean? And one of the up and coming, young coaches in the league, or good coaches in the league, shall I say? He's not super young like some of these other cats, but he is young. You know what I mean? But the way y'all looking this year, man, and I don't know. I mean, like, I back you up on it. Like I said, I believe in your word and your expertise when it comes to your team, and I usually back you up on it. If you're saying that you feel like it's about time for him to go, maybe I need a new face head in the front office over there as the head coach. Then hey, I'm gonna back you up on it, man. But I like Shanahan. I ain't gonna lie, I really do.
Yeah, so Sky says fire someone on the 49ers staff we lose. Yeah, I agree. That's my bold prediction. I said if the 49ers lose, somebody's getting fired. Not necessarily Shanahan or Lynch, but somebody's going to lose their job. There's always a scapegoat somewhere, right? Amin taps in, says, what's up, Trey and Jesse? And then Matt, this is a funny one. He says 49ers 58 zip, but then he followed it up with he's had a bit to drink. So who knows? All right, let's go. Steelers versus the Browns. 72% are picking the Browns. Browns are at home. What say you, Trey?
I'm ride with the Browns too, man. Like I know they've been struggling the last few weeks. Baker Mayfield's coming back though. Nick Chubb's coming back. Kareem Hunt's still out, but hey, Nick Chubb is back. He's ready to eat. Pittsburgh, man, they just been looking sorry all year. I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, even Ben's there, the receivers there. I know they're missing Juju now. I mean, Najee Harris, he's getting a lot of carries. He hasn't had that blow up game yet, but I don't know what's wrong with Pittsburgh, man. So I'm gonna go with Baker and them at home and ride with the Browns too.
Yeah,
But it's a trap
absolutely.
game.
Yeah. You're right. It is a bit of a trap game. And listen, the Browns actually, I mean, beating the Broncos. I don't know who you picked in that game, but I thought I think it was Thursday night game last week. I thought the Broncos would win that game. They had so many injuries on Cleveland, and they still found a way to win. That told me that team is resilient. I'm not picking against them this week. I think that they beat the Steelers as well. I'm right there with you. Okay, so the best 0-7 team in the league, the Detroit Lions, are facing the Philadelphia Eagles. I wish Rad was here for that one. That'd be good.
Me too.
Listen, 37% is going with Detroit. Philadelphia has some problems of their own. Is this finally the week that the Detroit Lions get a win? Is this it, Trey?
This is it, bro. This is it.
This is it.
They got to get this one. They got to.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
plus, I got a dog in this fight because Philly being in my division, I would love for him to go ahead and beat him. But I mean, I do really think they have a chance. I feel like Detroit has played hard, man. They haven't won any games, obviously, but in some of those games they didn't got spanked. But a couple of those games against your team, a couple other teams, they've actually played pretty hard. So I can see them coming out and beating Philly. Philly is one dimensional. I mean, they can't really run the ball other than with the quarterback with Hurts, and really his passing is inconsistent. I like Devontae Smith and what he's done in his young career, but yeah, man, I'm probably ride with Detroit, but I wouldn't be surprised if Philly came out one. Wouldn't be surprised if Philly came out one by 30. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna ride with Detroit though. I think they should get this one. First one. Let's go Detroit.
Listen, I feel like I've been riding with Detroit in every game that it was kinda you could go with them, and they've burned me about 4 times to this point, Trey. I'm going with Philadelphia. This is probably the week that Detroit wins because I'm going with Philly, but I can't do it, man. I see that 0-7 over there, and I'm looking at it going, I don't know, man. This ain't it. This is not it. So
your favorite going against them. They're 0-7. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You know it.
I might be overthink it.
All right, let's go. Indianapolis Colts. 14% is picking them. They are the home team. They're playing the Tennessee Titans. This is a division game. I'm actually shocked. I get why you would pick the Titans. They look like they're rolling, but only 14% in a division game. You never know what happens in these division games. A lot of crazy things can happen. Early on, before the season started, before any injuries or anything happened, I actually did pick the Colts to win this division. They obviously beat my 49ers last week in an absolute monsoon. They did enough to win that game. They are at home in the friendly confines of a dome, but they're playing an up-and-coming Tennessee Titans team that finally has figured it out. They look like the juggernaut of an offense that we kind of expected them to be after a few weeks of middling in the middle of the road there. And listen, I think Tennessee should win this game. I understand why they're the favorites, but I could see this one going either way. Who are you picking in this one?
I agree, man. You explained it perfectly. I went back and forth. Indy being at home, I do think the last 2 weeks they picked it up. Wentz has looked a little better. I like Taylor the way he's been rushing that ball, but still, he's not King Henry, man. And Brown over there, AJ Brown looked good last week. It's gonna come down to pretty much Wentz and my boy, the quarterback for the Titans.
Tannehill.
Tannehill. Come down to Wentz and Tannehill, man. It really is. Both quarterbacks who have potential, decent athletes, but can come out some games and just not look good. So it's gonna come down to them. But I'm gonna ride with Tennessee. I'm gonna ride with King Henry and Tennessee. I think even though they're on the road, they can come up. Right now they're playing better ball, and I expect them to come in there and get a win this week. So Tennessee.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I agree with you. Obviously, I'm picking Tennessee. Okay. I don't think there's a lot to talk about here. The Bengals are beating the Jets, right? We agree.
Smashing them.
Okay. Let me ask you this, though. There's 3 really viable options over in Cincy as far as a wide receiver position goes. I feel like Jamar Chase has played his way into things, right? Like he's a must start. But the other 2 are more of wide receiver 3 flex option types. If you had to roll with one for the rest of the year, who would be your wide receiver 2 in Cincy?
I flipped back and forth on this a couple times, but I will say I'm stuck right now, and I'm gonna ride with Higgins. I mean, looking at targets, looking at and the fact he was out a few games, but now missed some time. But now that he's back, like I said, I feel like he's the young man they're trying to push into that wide receiver 2 role, right on alongside of Chase. And them 2 gonna be a good duo going forward. I mean, I like Boyd too. He's nice too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you got any one of the 3 used on any weekly basis, you can start them and try to roll with the upside on either one of those players. But yeah, man, I'm right with Higgins. I love Higgins. I think he's a good receiver, man.
Well, thank you. That was actually a selfish question. I've got another league where I've got both of them. I didn't know which one to ride with, so I ended up with both. So here I am, and I need to know who I need to roll with, not only this week, but for the rest of the year. So, all right, I appreciate it. That's who I was leaning towards, so I'm glad that we're on the same page with that. But we're both picking the Bengals. Let's move on. Okay, here's another one. Probably not a lot to talk about. The Texans and the Rams. We're both picking the Rams, but there are some other things to talk about here. So a lot of rumors picking up again around the Deshaun Watson situation. Do you think there's any chance he gets traded before next week's deadline, or do you think he's staying put this year in Houston?
Based off the rumors that I've seen and the way the teams are going about it, they're saying they don't think it's a chance he's going to get moved. Regardless, I don't think he's going to play this year. I mean, even if he does get moved, I don't think the other team would take a chance on trying to play him. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I'm really saying that because I thought about going to go pick him up a couple weeks back in fancy just in case to make it like a smart move, but I didn't. And then I seen somebody else go do it, and I was like, damn, I should have done it. But I really honestly don't think he's going to play this year. And I don't think he's going to get moved until after the deadline too, which means he's not going to get moved. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's just too much, man. There's too much at risk for these teams.
yeah,
Them and the Dolphins, it sounds like they have a deal in principle. So whenever he is cleared, if he ever gets cleared, it sounds like he's going to end up in a Dolphin uniform. But who knows how long? I mean, this could be a 2-year process that we're looking at.
right.
It's really unfortunate. Selfish reasons, I would love for him to get back on the field. But at the same time, if these rumors are true, I can't rock with that. So we'll see what happens with that whole thing. Bay Area Baller talks about how Higgins and Boyd will be up and down the rest of the season. Okay, speaking of Watson, though, you said you almost picked him up. I'm in a 2-quarterback league, as I was talking about when Bay asked his question earlier. It's also a keeper league, so you can keep 2 guys. You can keep them only 1 year. So basically, once you have them, you can keep them 1 extra year. And you forfeit the round that they were drafted in. If they were a free agent, then you forfeit a 15th round pick. Okay, so this is an interesting league. I actually drafted Watson round 11, and I'm stashing him all year, hoping he plays next year. Because as an 11th round keeper in a 2-quarterback league, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm a step ahead of everybody here. So hopefully he plays next year.
No, you're a step ahead. Great move. Smart move. Yeah, because he should. Like you said, it could be a year or two of linger on, but I can see if he get out this whole year, they try to get it taken care of in the off season, and at least even have his penalty established. Even if he has to do, miss a year or 6 weeks, whatever it is, I feel like this all get a handle, and he'll come out next year and at some point in time and be playing ball. So that was a great move, bro. 11th round, great move.
Yeah, I got it. I had to take a chance. Okay. Here's a good game. 89% are actually rolling with the Chargers here, right? But I think them and the Patriots, I think this is actually a pretty good game. The Patriots are playing some decent ball. They're definitely in every game. I mean, you saw it firsthand with your Cowboys. They were in that game, right? Like that was, I'm sure you were on the edge of your seat a little bit on that one. Understandably 100%. So, right? And the Chargers have some deficiencies. Like they are not a perfect football team by any means. They are explosive, but that defense will give up some points. The Patriots are efficient. I'm curious to see where you're going with this one. I got to imagine you're leaning Chargers, but I wouldn't be shocked if you went the other way. Who are you going with in this one?
I'm leaning toward the Chargers, but it's one of them games that would help me make the deciding factor was the home game and the home team.
Yeah.
Because New England, the last couple of games, against Tampa Bay when they played them at home, against my team, they played us at home at their house, and both of those games they played real good. So, and they actually been looking better. Mac Jones, still, looking like a young quarterback, but has been playing better over the past few weeks. So, I think that with San Diego, with Los Angeles Chargers being at home in LA, I feel like they should get this win. But watch out for the Patriots, man. I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots played them close and even pulled out a win. The Patriots have been looking pretty good. I ain't mad at them, but I'm going with the Chargers. Even though they struggled in their last game, I still expect them to come out and get this win this week at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Bay Area Baller says pick up J.K. Dobbins in that league, that keeper league. Somebody had already got him. Yeah, that one. Somebody's already got him. People think in that league, and it's a real interesting league because you'll see a lot of late season trades that you look at and you're like, whoa, that's really lopsided. But they don't get reversed because it's actually people looking at futures. So, for example, if you have somebody who's competitive, right, versus somebody who's completely out of it, they'll do like a 2-for-1 swap. So this person who's competitive will have a really good keeper that they'll send to this other team so that guy can have a good keeper for next year, but he'll get 2 good players this year to make a run with. So it's just an interesting dynamic. It's a fun league, but there's a lot of strategy that goes into it for sure. You what?
Sounds like they cheating.
No, it's smart. Listen, it's smart. All right, I agree. I'm rolling with Justin Herbert. That's my guy. I'm wearing the Oregon Duck hat. I love Herbert, and I think that offense can do just enough to win that game. But I really truly would not be shocked if the Patriots pulled it out. I really wouldn't. Okay, here's one where I'm going to go against the grain. Okay, so I'm already letting you know I'm hedging my bet a little bit, but I'm letting you know how this one's going to go for me. We got the Seahawks at home against the Jacksonville fighting Trevor Lawrences. Okay, 84% is picking Seattle with Geno Smith starting in a terrible defense. 16% is going with Jacksonville. I am going with Jacksonville in the upset of this game. 1-5 versus 2-5 records. I think this is going to be a much closer game than what people think. And in a 2-quarterback league, I'm actually picking Trevor Lawrence to start over Carson Wentz. That's how good I feel about this one. Who do you think wins this game?
I'm going with Seattle. I do think it's a toss-up game. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville won this game, but I feel like Seattle's played pretty good at home the last couple of weeks. Against the Pittsburgh Steelers when Pittsburgh ended up coming out with that game. Now, of course, last week Indianapolis eventually ended up running off on the game, but at first Seattle's playing kind of hard. They still got Wagner and a couple of decent players over there, Jamal Adams and stuff. So being at home with that 12 man, I don't believe in Jacksonville. Like I said, I know Trevor Lawrence is going to see better days one day, but right now he's a rookie and that team is struggling. I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but I'm going with 84%. I'm going to 1984. I'm going with 84%, man. Seattle Seahawks going to win this game at home.
Listen, I got to go against the grain a little bit. I got some catching up to do. I don't know what your record is, but I got to imagine it's better than mine. I am not doing good in this picking league. All right, so we're right there. I gotcha. General Meow says Jesse's my favorite podcast commentator. Him and Rob Shue, it's a toss-up. Listen, Rob is far more entertaining than I. Plus, he's got a radio voice. I love Rob Shue. Go subscribe to him if you have not done so, folks. But he's one of the good guys in the business for sure. All right, so Washington versus the Broncos. I would love to get Jeff's thoughts on this one. I'm going to obviously defer to you first because this is a division game, at least for you with Washington going. Washington does not look very good. I've got to imagine you've already spent the $100 that we've bet because it's if it's not there, it's got to be there. Like it's over, right? Like I'm not winning that bet. But that being said, the Denver hasn't looked very good either. They lost to a very injured Cleveland Browns team on Thursday Night Football. Who do you think ends up winning this game?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I got Washington picked to win it, and that's because I feel like with Heineke. I always say his name wrong, but I feel like he's an athletic kid who can actually put some points on the board and put some produce some yards. They're going to be inconsistent. There's going to be some turnovers there. He makes a bad play sometimes, but he's been okay, and he can run a little bit too. Denver, after the way they lost to Cleveland, like we all picked Denver last week. Cleveland was out Kareem Hunt, without Chubb, without Mayfield. And Denver went out there. I don't know, man. I can't ride with them no more. I don't believe in them. So even though it's a division game, and I would love Washington to get beat. This is one of them times where I'm gonna pick Washington, but I'll be okay if I lose this one. Hey, that means that I won on another end. Another loss for my division team, but I can't rob the Broncos. I rode with them the last 2 weeks, and they burned me. And I told Jess, "Hey, I'm not robbing your team no more. It's over with."
How does it feel that your team's going to clinch a playoffs in like week 10? Literally week 10, you guys are clinching playoffs. It's so stupid.
Love it.
Gosh, must be nice. Has a team ever rested their starters the final 7 weeks of a season? This will be the first time ever it's happened.
Never.
I'm actually rolling with Washington as well. Again, old habits die hard. To me, I thought they would be a good team coming into the season. That clearly has not been the case, but I am sticking with them. Now is a better time than ever to turn it around, and the Broncos seem like one of those get-right teams. So I am going with Washington to win the game. I don't feel good about it. You shouldn't either. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints are the surprise team to me. 4-2. I'm shocked that they are at 4-2, to be real with you. I never expected this. Jameis Winston is terrible. Like, he is just not a good quarterback, but they
It's not.
keep finding ways to win. They really do. And so, they're playing the defending champions, who, by the way, have no corners. Maybe Gronkowski's back. Maybe he's not. We'll see. But 92% is picking the road team here, the defending champions. Do you agree with that?
Agree with it 100%, 1,000%.
A
Like I said,
thousand
I've
percent.
been
Okay.
some of these New Orleans games, and you hit it right on the head, man. Jameis Winston has not been playing good at the quarterback position. Like the team had found a way to win, but he doesn't look like he's not the man. He's not the answer back there. So Tampa Bay with all those hogs over there and the GOAT, it's over with, man. I'm right with Tampa Bay. That's easy money.
I feel it. NJ49 Izzy says Washington football team has some good offensive weapons, great offensive weapons, but the D is playing like trash. That's the surprise, right? Like, that was supposed to be. That is why I picked Washington to win that division preseason, because that defense was supposed to be on another level. Not only are they not on another level, Trey, they are arguably a bottom probably 3 defense in the NFL right now. What is going on? You've got Riverboat Ron Rivera over there, who's supposed to be a defensive guy. You've got tons of defensive players up and down that roster. How come they can't figure it out? I don't know. That is the most baffling thing to me of all the teams. It's not like they're riddled with injury. They've been relatively healthy, and they just have not put together defensive performances. It's crazy.
Facts. I don't know what it is, man. Like I said, they still got some hogs over there, but I already kind of felt like they were slightly overrated anyway, or people had them hype. The only reason why I felt that way is because obviously 6 of their games last year came against 2 against my team, who was beat up without Dak. They played both our games against the Cowboys last year without Dak, and then of course the Eagles and the Giants. We are considered, the worst division in football outside of my team, of course, but still, and the AFC South, and they got some bad teams over there too. But anyway, like I said, man, that's I don't know. I already kind of felt like they was a little overrated, shall I say? But they are playing bad. They're playing horrible. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I believe in Ron Rivera. I like him as a coach. In some games, I actually lean with Washington because him being the coach. But this year's just not the year, and I'm loving it. Like McDonald's, man, I'm loving it. So,
yeah, listen, she also says Chase Young is no Bosa. That is a fact. Nick Bosa is a much better player than Chase Young. And also, anybody should have been able to see that. I mean, you look at the college film, Bosa came out with 3 or 4 moves that he could do on the line to get past alignment, and he would use one to set up another one. He would chain things together. Jamar Chase really had like one move that he was really good at, and I think the NFL has kind of figured it out, because that man is not doing much this year. Now, I don't watch a lot of Washington football. Maybe he's getting double teamed. I'm not sure, but there's a couple dogs on that defensive line. I got to imagine that he's probably not getting double teamed too much. So anyways, all right. I agree with you. Buccaneers, whatever. All right. Cowboys, your Dallas Cowboys, 79% is picking them to travel to Minnesota. Now, y'all are coming off a bye week, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Dak going to play? That's the question.
Game time decision, man. But I will say this: it is a real chance that he sits. Like I said, if it was a playoff game, big time game we had to win, he'd be playing. Whether he's 100% or not, and would be effective. But because we're sitting at 5-1, and we're looking at making a playoff run, like you just mentioned a minute ago, we are leading the division and should run away with it if we continue to play good ball. So I'll be okay if they decide to sit Dak for a game or two in order to make sure this fully heals and that calf doesn't linger on throughout the season. And he practiced the last practice and said that he gave it a full go, and he felt okay, but he was a little sore after the practice, you know what I'm saying? But he made it through. He said if something was going to happen, he told himself he'd rather it happen there. So instead of going 75%, 50%, he gave it a full go in practice and finished, but was a little sore. So I don't know, man. It's kind of scary because a part of me wants to say, yeah, he's going to play tomorrow. But because of our record and because we can afford to sit him for a game or two, I wouldn't be surprised if, an hour before game time it comes out, breaking that Dak Prescott is inactive. So be mindful.
What I'm hearing from you is you're picking Minnesota unless I mean, hold on a second. You're picking the Cowboys. However, if it comes out an hour before the game, Dak is out, you're gonna be smart and go and switch it, right? Oh, you're not. You're not doing that. You're just sticking with Cowboy. Okay, all right.
You you was making perfect sense until you said switch it. I mean, I'm proud of my team, man. Cause like I said, and it'll be the smart. Don't get me wrong. If Dak is out, I do expect Minnesota to be the favorites, but I do still think that we have enough to maybe come out and win that game Sunday night football. But I'd expect Minnesota to be the favorites. But like I say, week one, I went with my Cowboys over the Buccaneers, man. Y'all kind of pushed me into that. Rad did. He was like, man, don't be scared. Go with your team. But it's the truth. But I do feel like we can win, and we should win this game, especially if Dak's there. But if Dak's not there, it's going to be a hard fought game. And hopefully we can pull it out. So far this year, my team has showed me that they can overcome adversities and play pretty good when they're back against the wall. We've had a lot of injuries and a lot of moments. And unlike my team in the past this year, we're looking pretty good. Like we're looking like we can overcome some of those things. So yeah, I'm right with us regardless.
You listen, the Cowboys almost went full Cowboys on me, right? So I came out the last time we did a show together. It's been a couple weeks, Trey, but the last time we did a show together, I said, listen, I got to be honest. I'm fully sold on the Cowboys. I think that they have a really good team. I like what they've got going on. It hurts me to say it. And I went on this whole thing. And it was right before they played the Patriots. And then they almost lost that game. And I was ready to text you. Cowboys go full Cowboys. And every time you think they finally turned a corner and they're that good team, they always blow it. But the fact that they won that game, and I know that they should have won that game against the Patriots, it's not about that. The Cowboys always seem to let you down once you think that you figured them out. The fact that they didn't in that scenario really tells me that the Cowboys are for real. So I'm going to stick with it. The Cowboys are for real. That being said, I'm going Minnesota.
You must. I like it though. You set me up for that one. I'm like, what? Yeah. Okay, now I can't be mad at it though. Yeah.
I really, and you'll see when we do our power rankings. I really do think the Cowboys are for real, but I am picking Minnesota in this game just because I think the Cowboys. It would probably be smart if they sit Dak Prescott. To your point, they're way out in front in that division. Like if there's ever a time to sit your star player, might be the time to do it. Just make sure that he's fully healed. I know he had the bye week, but let's give him another week just to be sure about it. There's this losing or winning this game is not going to decide your division. You're a playoff team. It is what it is. I get, it hurts because you're fighting for that number one seed, and maybe this game is the difference if you sit him, but you got to do the smart thing and make sure that he's good to go. So, all right, here's a team that has been terrible this season. And I say terrible in the sense they've got 3 wins. They're 3-4. That doesn't necessarily sound terrible. This team is not good right now. The Kansas City Chiefs. Now, they are at home against the New York Giants. I've got to imagine that they win this game. 94% of America's picking them. I'm picking them. I'm assuming you're picking them. But what the hell is going on with the Kansas City Chiefs right now? What is the deal?
Patrick Mahomes first. Well, we've always known they've had a bad defense, but usually the offense has been so spectacular that they've kind of covered up for the defense. And the defense usually with Tyrann Mathieu making a few plays here and there. The defense look okay, but they've always been bad. But this year, both sides of the ball is bad. The defense can't stop nobody, and the offense, with all those playmakers, Mahomes is actually going through a little slump right now. Like I said, I seen on a stat where he has 16 interceptions in his last 16 games. He's going through a slump right now. Still the most talented quarterback in the league, but right now he's not the best quarterback in the league, or at least not playing like the best quarterback in the league, and that's just the truth. And like I said, so it's a lot of things, a lot of problems going on over there. I mean, the running game. Of course, Clyde Edwards-Helaire being out, it starts with Mahomes, man. It starts with the quarterback. And as long as he's doing this thing and playing like he was in the past years, all these things was okay. He could hide a lot of these problems. But right now, the fact that he's playing bad ball or inconsistent ball, man, it's not good for him. The Chiefs is not looking good at all. I'm worried, but I'm not worried about them this week. I feel like they should get this win against the Giants. But going forward, I am worried about the Chiefs, man. I am worried about them.
I gotta agree with you, and here's a good one right here, right? Loath of Truth says the defense are keeping Tyreek Hill at bay. I mean, they've really kind of kept everybody at bay, and Mahomes is playing a little bit of hero ball, which I understand it, right? Like he's trying to make things happen, but my mind automatically goes to some of the psychological things, right? And you had that whole thing with Andy Reid's son right before the Super Bowl last year. I feel like, and I'm not saying that this is the reason they lost. I did pick Tampa to win that game, but that being said, I just feel like that's one of those distractions that you don't need. And when you see a distraction like that, but then you also kind of remember the history of the Chiefs and how they've taken chances on some guys that with questionable character, right? I just feel like that tells me that there's a underlying issue with that organization that it may never surface, right? But there's just there's an underlying issue with that organization that relies on accountability or accountability being an issue. And I think that's ultimately what's going on, right? It's okay when you're winning, all these things get covered up. All the little things don't have to be done perfectly when you're that far ahead of the rest of the league or the AFC, the way that the Chiefs have been the last couple of years. But now that you've got some legit quarterbacks who are young up and comers that are starting to get closer to that level of a Patrick Mahomes, just going out there and playing isn't enough anymore. They've got to do the little things right, and they don't. They make tons of mistakes. They always have. And the defense is not near as opportunistic as what they were in the past. And so you're starting to see some of those underlying issues become a real thing for the Chiefs. So I don't know if it's something that they can figure out. I genuinely think it's a part of their culture with this current team. And it may be a while before you see the Chiefs actually being serious threats again. Now, can they be a playoff team, like get into the playoffs and knocked out in the first round? Sure. I think that that's something they can be just because Patrick Mahomes is that good. But his contract hasn't even kicked in yet, Trey. It was supposed to kick in this year, if you remember, but he pushed money off and is only making about $7.5 million, I believe, against the cap this year, and they still are having trouble. So that tells me it's not going to get better for the Chiefs long term. You cannot push that money off again. He's going to want to get his money. So I think this might be a trend for the Chiefs for the next couple of years, to be real with you.
Wow.
All right, let's do this here. I'm going to share the screen, and then we will do our power rankings. And there we go. And let me change this real quick too. All right, you can see that. Comments. What's up, Niner Sickness? How you doing? Okay, so let's do some power rankings. Let's just go team by team. So we've got the top bar, which is S for Super Bowl. These are the Super Bowl contenders, right? And then we've got the A, B, C, and D. We pretty much know what that is. Let's just go team by team, right? And rank these guys. Seattle Seahawks, just off rip. Where are you putting them?
Seattle, the bottom.
You going bottom tier?
I mean, I put them the second to the bottom.
Second to the bottom? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm gonna put them second to the bottom. Where you put them at?
I was kind of leaning bottom, but let's just put them here. Let's get everything up on paper, and then we can make some adjustments. So, okay, Detroit Lions. We agree. This is like they're 0-7, right?
Yeah,
where to put them in that D tier. Okay. All right. Texans, same thing. We agree that bottom tier.
Mm-hmm.
The D tier. All right. Here's an interesting one. Titans. So it's been a few weeks since we've done this one here. Titans now, I mean, we can go Super Bowl or we can go A, but to me, they got to be in one of those two. I think the last time we did this, they hadn't beaten the Buffalo Bills yet, which they now have done so. They're starting to look pretty good. Are you going A or are you going Super Bowl?
I got to put them in A. I still need to see another week or two of production, but yeah, A. I like that.
Okay. And then, actually, here, let me do this because that way I'm not looking off to the right the whole time. I'm just going to put it in front of me. Okay. Okay. So let's go Cleveland. You go in, yeah.
Because of injuries and things, I'll put them in B.
B? Okay. I'm kind of right there with you. I'm right there with you. I think they're a borderline playoff team. So I'm going to go. I agree with you on that one. Okay, Bengals. What do we think about the Bengals? Surprise team this year.
I'm gonna put them in B right now. But slightly they're moving towards A. I do like the Bengals what they've done the past 2 weeks, but just because I still need to see a little bit more, me personally, I probably feel safer putting them at B.
Okay. All right. 49ers. I'm going to take them just because they're the 49ers. You tell me if you agree. I've got them in C.
That's fair. I like it.
All right. Cardinals division team. Listen, I think they fell out of the Super Bowl conversation this week. You know, they lost not because they lost the game, right? But more so without JJ Watt. That defense is very mediocre, I believe, without JJ Watt. And Green Bay had literally no receivers for that game, and they still found a way to get it done. Hopkins now has a hamstring thing. He may be out for at least a couple weeks. Kyler Murray is banged up. He might miss a week or two. So I got to move them from that Super Bowl contender where I believe we had them before and put them in that A. Do you agree with that?
I like that, especially after the way they played the other night. Like I said, and yeah, all those injuries. Yeah, hey,
Okay. So we
great,
got
still right
three.
here.
Yeah. What's up?
So still great, still right there. But yeah, hey,
Okay. Okay. So we got three division teams for you. So I'm going to let you pick where they go. Washington football team, where you got them?
Washington. I mean, all the teams in my division deserve to be D, a C or D, other than the Cowboys. Uh, hmm. I'm gonna put Washington. I'm gonna put them at C,
Okay.
just because when I think of the Texans and some of those other teams, I will say they're slightly better than them. I mean, you can really flip a coin, man. Like I said, all the Washington, Philly, and New York, they're either C or D. I mean, I kind of want to put them all in D, but look at the other teams in D. I kind of feel like they deserve to be a C. So I mean, hey, I don't know, man. That's kind of hard. You know what I mean? What you
Yeah.
thinking?
I agree. I think C is where I'm going to put them. You know, just because they have a couple wins and they probably have some more talent than some of those D level teams that we put there.
Right.
So just based off of that, you know, that'll kind of be the tiebreaker for me. Where are you putting the Cowboys? You going A or you going Super Bowl?
I'm still putting this in A. I
Okay.
mean, like I said, I still think it's a couple teams that deserve to be in that Super Bowl tier ahead of us, but we're right there knocking on that door. You know, this week right here, I mean, with Dak or without Dak, I mean, it's gonna show me a lot about my team and elevate us in one direction or bring us back. But I'm gonna put us in A, man, to keep it safe.
Okay, I respect it. I agree with you. I think A is right where they need to be. But you know, listen, A is like you're basically confirmed to be a playoff team. Is our thoughts on it? And they're right there. You know, once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. So
Right.
no shame in being that. Are you going with Philly at C or are you going with Philly at D?
I put them in C. Like I said,
Okay.
I put all those teams together. If you want them all in C or all in D, put them all together. Right.
All right. Then I'll just
They're
move the
all in
Giants
the
up
five.
now while we're okay. All right. All right. What about the Dolphins?
Mm.
It's a tough one.
Dolphins got to be a C.
Go and see with the Dolphins. Okay.
Got a whole lot of
Ooh.
C's. I got a lot of C's.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Like D is probably reserved for like the bottom 3, 4 teams, but man, Dolphins are close.
They
They
sure are.
don't look so hot. Okay. Rams, are you going with them as A or Super Bowl contender or Super Bowl?
I'm I'm still putting them. I'm gonna put the Rams in the Super Bowl, man. I am.
Okay.
I'm still putting
That's
them up
fair.
there.
Okay, that's fair. We'll put them there for now. Falcons, where are you putting these guys?
And in my favorite category, C. They down there.
See.
C and D. They might be a D. The C's and the D's run hand in hand. You know what I mean? They
Yeah, listen. They've changed it. They've definitely gotten better. I think they're a C team for sure. You know, they're a win or two away from possibly being a B team. It's crazy
they
to think about that because their defense isn't good,
were
and
struggling.
on paper they have some deficiencies, but they are. I believe they're 3-3. I mean, you can't hate on it. So they've figured some things out. All right, Baltimore. Do we both agree A here?
Yes,
Okay.
I like it.
Tampa, we're putting up in Super Bowl. Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Okay. Bills. Here's an interesting one. Now they lost to the Titans. We had them firmly locked in that A. We going A or we going Super Bowl? We had them firmly locked at Super Bowl. Excuse me, but they did lose to the Titans since then.
I mean, I don't really want one game to determine. I mean, obviously, we got to take that into consideration.
Yeah,
I still want to put them in Super Bowl, but if someone
I
wants to make
agree.
an argument A for the time being, I'd be okay with that. But me personally, I still want to put them in Super Bowl because I mean, who else we gonna put up there?
I agree. The AFC is so wide open right now. Like the NFC is very top heavy, and then once you get to those final two wild card spots, anything can happen. But the AFC, I just feel like whoever comes out of there is going to get the crap kicked out of them because the NFC looks like they are on a whole different level right now. So, okay, we want to go. We agree the Chargers are an A.
Yeah, perfect.
Broncos, we go in C.
Yep.
Favorite division. Colts probably are a C too, right?
Right now, I mean, maybe B. No, C. They're leaning towards that B, but I mean, yeah, yeah,
Okay. Jags, we're putting in that D.
D is in dog.
Pause. Okay, Chiefs. Chiefs are a C now, right? Like I mean, we're definitely not putting them in an A or B. We just talked about all their deficiencies. They're not a D. I gotta say they're a C team, yeah.
They can never be a D. Well, I mean, right now, but they, who do we have in B? Let's see.
Right now we
Put
got
them,
the Browns and
they,
the Bengals in
yeah,
that D.
they just got smashed. Put them in the
Yeah.
C. They got to be in the C. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, there's a lot of teams in C. Patriots, they're a C probably, yeah.
I might put them more closer to a B now, but they've been playing pretty good lately. But they deserve to be a C right now.
Okay. Saints.
C.
B, C, B, C,
I
C.
say
Okay.
C.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
All right, here's another D team. Gotta love to fill up that category. The Jets.
D.
Okay, here's one for you. The Raiders, are they an A or a B team to you?
They're a B team. They're not an
Okay.
A team right now. I feel like
Yeah.
they're on the brink. I still got to see a little bit more consistency, a couple more, good wins, and I can maybe elevate them to A. But right now, I feel safer with B.
Okay, that's fair. What about the Vikings?
I feel like the Vikings right now is right there. It's on the cusp of B and C. Tomorrow, I could say one way or the other, probably better after the game against us Cowboys. But
And they don't need to even win the game,
I-
right? Like if they're competitive and Dak
yeah,
plays, they got to be right there. So
right. And all their three losses, I mean, they lost all their three losses by one score. You know what I mean, against a pretty good
yes.
team. So I mean, I'll be okay putting them in the B right now. I have a C or B. You know what I mean? But tomorrow, I know for sure.
Okay. Let's just go C for now. They're right there. Okay, Packers. Are we putting them in the Super Bowl or are we putting them in the A?
And the way they're playing right now, I got to put them in the Super Bowl.
I gotta agree. I have to agree. Yep. God, that's crazy. I mean, remember they got mopped week 1 against the Saints, and now look at them. That's just wild. All right, Steelers. Where are we putting these guys?
C.
See? Gosh, that's C, man. This whole mediocrity all over the place, huh?
That's what it is.
Panthers, C.
C.
Bears are probably a C as well, yeah?
C.
I mean,
But
look at all those teams. I feel like we got to move the Saints up. Like they're the one team that just keeps like popping out at me as the team that doesn't deserve to be with the rest of those
4-2.
teams.
Go ahead. Just based off the fact they are 4-2. Go ahead. And we got some meaning to see. Move them up. I ain't mad at that.
Okay. All right. Is there anything? All right. So I'm going to give you the Super Bowl teams. You tell me if you agree with this one. We got 3 NFC teams up there. So we have the Rams, we have the Bucks, we have the Packers from the NFC, and then the AFC we have the Bills. You agree with that?
Like that.
All right. A teams, we have the Titans, we have the Cardinals, we have your Cowboys, we have the Ravens, and we have the Chargers. Feel good about that?
Sounds good. Real good.
Okay. B teams, we have the Browns, the Bengals. So that's 2 teams in that division. We have the Raiders and we have the Saints. I think that's probably right. I feel good about that.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like the Bengals out of 4 of them is playing the best ball. The Browns got the best. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Now go on to this next tier. Name
We have 13 teams in the C division. Wow, the NFL is very top heavy this year. My gosh. All right. So
It's
we
the
have
truth.
this we have the Seahawks, we have the 49ers, we have Washington, Philly, Giants, Dolphins. We have the Falcons, the Broncos, the Patriots, the Colts, the Chiefs. We have the Vikings. The Vikings are right there. We could see after this week, like you said. The Steelers, the Panthers, and the Bears are all in that C division. Wow. I can't argue against moving any of those guys right now. I feel like they're right where they should be, but that's a lot of teams.
It is a lot, but they all deserve to be there. Of course, like I said, some is moving in the wrong direction, going towards D. Some of those teams
Mm-hmm.
after this maybe move up to the the B class. But right now, I feel like all that looks good. I mean, I feel like that's the way it is. It is what it
Yeah.
is, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And then the D division, we have the Lions, the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Jets. Yeah,
Facts.
that's fat. That is. I agree. That is definitely facts. Absolutely. All right. So let me remove this. All right, my guy. I mean, let's see some of these comments. See if there's anything in there. C at best for the 49ers. Okay. Oh, did you guys lose the screen? Peter says that our screen wasn't showing it anymore. No,
I'm not.
everybody else is talking. I mean, I can show it again real quick if well, actually I closed it out so I can't show it again real quick. But you guys heard the teams either way. I think you guys get the gist. There's really the most important is who's Super Bowl contenders, who's not. And right now, as far as legit like top tier teams, the Rams, the Packers, we had the Bucks, and we had the Bills. So that's our top 4 teams right now as far as Super Bowl contenders. That's the most important part. So, all righty.
Yep.
Trey, is there anything that you want to say on the way out? Anything on your mind that we didn't get to tonight?
It's gonna be some good games tomorrow, man. I can't wait for tomorrow. But now tonight we did our thing, man. Another another good show. Going through these pick'ems. Me and you. I feel like we saw eye to eye on a lot. This week is gonna be a lot of good games. So I can't wait to see some of the outcomes tomorrow. And next week that'll give us a clear vision, or a clear view on these some of these teams. So I think we did good, man. Great show. I don't have nothing else to add to it, man. Great show.
Yeah.
How about them Cowboys?
Actually, let me go one more deep, just because we got to talk the Thursday game next week, technically, because we come on after that. I think this is going to be an easy one. It shouldn't take us more than a few seconds. It's the Colts versus the Jets. We're picking the Colts, right? They're at home.
99% of the world said the Colts is going to win against the Jets next Thursday.
Yeah. Listen, Colts are winning that game. Colts are winning that game. Listen, Sky wants me to talk some Oregon football with him real quick. Listen, I would love to. That quarterback situation is interesting, right? Like I was never a big believer, right, of the starter over there. His name's slipping me right now, but I was never a big believer. He was a transfer. They definitely have some talent sitting behind him, and you never know what the situation is over there. Maybe it's time to move on. It's hard because Brown's like he's in the same stable as Trey Lance with Quincy Avery and those guys. I definitely have some love for those guys. But I just don't think Brown looks that good. I don't think he's looked good all year. So, I'm curious to see what ends up happening there. NorCal Bill says, why did I get unsubscribed? Well, chances are, NorCal Bill, you thought you were subscribed. You were subscribed to our old channel. Our old channel got deleted because some Yahoo idiot wanted to come on and do some inappropriate things or show some inappropriate things. So this is the new channel. So make sure you are subscribed. You still have a couple days. Next Wednesday, we are giving away the $100 in team gear of your choice. The way that you enter into that is you subscribe. You go to the very first video on our channel. It talks about a relaunch. You go into the comments there and you say that you've subscribed. That will get you entered in to win. And I will like the comment. That'll tell you that you are entered and we've seen everything. So if you have not subscribed, make sure that you do that. If you're watching on any other platform other than YouTube, make sure you come to YouTube, type in Last Second Sports, give us some love over there. And we appreciate everybody for tapping in. Should be another great week in football. And listen, trick or treating, y'all that got kids or just, haven't grown up yourselves, could be a fun night for you as well. So everybody have a great night. Enjoy football this week, and we will be back at it on the channel. I think the next show we have is Monday, Detroit, Tuesday, 49ers, Friday, Cowboys, and then hopefully us four will be back next Saturday. Y'all have a good night.